the Aerosoft CRJ-550/700 plane that a lot of people have bought lately, and some are just downright upset when they find out that this plane completely ignores anything that you put into the map as a flight plan before you click on ready to fly. You get into the simulator, there's nothing there, autopilot doesn't work. Now you come back online and say, you know, I just bought this plane to fly. I don't want to sit and learn how to program it and spend a bunch of time doing that. I think I've come up with a way that's super easy and quick for people in that category. First thing I've got to say, this video is in no way anything even remotely related to a correct procedure, okay? But if you're here looking at this, you're probably not interested in procedure that's correct to begin with. So let's take a look inside. First thing, go down here to the flight computer, click on flight plan, F-plan right there. Put in the code of the airport you want to go to. So, type it in down there, hit the button up here next to destination to put that in, hit execute. You need to press execute after all this, or it will not save it. Next one, departure arrival. Click on arrival. I already know that I want to go to ILS 1 left, so that's what I'm going to select, but otherwise you can hit next page, previous page. It'll list all of the runways available at that airport. I just want ILS 1 left, keeping it simple. Ignore all this stuff. You don't need that where we're going. Hit execute. It saves it. Next, click on legs. For some reason, every time that I've tried this, I've found that I need to delete this very first waypoint. I'm not sure why, but if I don't delete that, it'll ignore everything. It might make the initial turn, but then it'll ignore the rest of the plan entirely. So click on delete and get rid of the first waypoint. Execute. Now the reason I say it that way is because sometimes you may see vector or something that says discontinuity. Those also must be removed, because otherwise it'll do the same thing. The computer will kind of get lost when it hits those and just keep flying off in a straight line. You know, it's not good. So click on delete, click on the one that's there, vector or discontinuity, and then hit execute again. Now, you can see here, we know that it worked because we've got lines all the way across to our destination from here in Milwaukee. So we're good there. I assume that you have some idea how to use the autopilot if you're here. But if not, we'll go through that real quick. First thing you need to do is tell it to follow that path. So select nav, turn it on. You set your altitude to whatever you want. By default, it's at 10,000. I'll just leave it there. Speed. Select a speed that's down here in the pink. We're going to turn this thing up to 250. Takes forever. Usually if you hold shift and rotate, then it'll go faster. This should work for Xbox too. I don't see why it would be any different. Click the speed button. What that's going to do now is it'll climb to 10,000 feet at 250 knots. The plane will work out the rate of climb, rate of ascent on its own. It'll climb there at 250. Now for takeoff, you gotta set some flaps or it's gonna yell at you. Flaps 8. And that's really all there is to it. Release the parking brake and get going. We're going to be looking for usually about 135 knots or so to go back on the stick. Take off. There are ways to set that, but that's outside of the scope of this video. takeoff. Gear up. And we're going to climb out a little bit here just until the plane can fly on its own here a little bit. Click on the autopilot. And you can see it's starting to make our turn. So we know that it's following the flight plan now. I'm going to kick this throttle back to climb. You'll see it show up here. That's going to climb it at that speed. Put the flaps up. That's it. We're on our way. Look out the window and gaze at the pretty scenery of the flight simulator. Now for the rest of the flight, that's, again, it's outside of the scope of this video. Maybe I'll make another one based on if there's any interest in it. If I just decide that I'm bored and want to make another one. We'll see. Till then, give it a try. Have fun.